APLD stock is one of the leading AI infrastructure and data center stocks, and the market pulled back today while Big Bear AI was finding a support around 650. We just wrapped up our daily live session this morning, and we locked in some profits on CTM yesterday. It's been holding well, and our portfolio is still holding okay. We got 3.5% down today. But if you want to watch us as soon as tomorrow and see us invest in real time, tune in by tapping the second link in the description below. Let's jump in to APLD. So APLD had a really big drop today. We saw it sell down as low as $29 a share. You can see this level here this morning, $29.95. And when the whole market was red this morning, a lot of red in the market, we said this is a great opportunity to buy, especially APLD as it sold off aggressively, and we saw it recover. And this is not a big surprise for the company. We saw them sell down as low as, let's see, here at market open, it sold down as low as 29. So that was a level of recovery here for the stock of about 8 or 9%, at one point over 12% recovery throughout the day. While they pulled down and it looks like they have downward pressure, you still have the overall uptrend fairly strong. This is a level that we've been watching pretty closely, and they just dropped down to this 200-day moving average here. You can see at around 29 bucks. That's actually kind of a key level for them. This is a previous support level here, and you can also see a previous resistance kind of into those ranges here around this $29 range. And in today's move, when it bounced down and recovered back to 32, it appears that that level is holding pretty strong. Now, of course, government shutdown, you got a bunch of pressure on the data center market because there is government funding for some of this, whether it's energy or anything else. But nevertheless, you got more investments from AI companies into companies like APLD. And here's why APLD has been growing. Most investors don't realize this about APLD, which is that they actually are building the data centers for some of the top companies in the world that are scaling with AI. If you were looking to invest in a profitable investment, what's the first thing you're going to look for? You're going to look for the market and that it's a good market. This is the AI-driven market, which is the data center market. Pretty good market, huge growth, a lot of revenues in the market. Spending is all-time high in this market. And AI, if you believe it's going to be better in 5 years than it is today, which I would imagine most things will be better in 5 years than they are today, then you're looking at data centers as a pretty good market to invest in. Now, what's the second thing you look at? You're going to look at the real world usage. So we've seen some real world usage and deals signed for them. They signed a CoreWeave deal for $7 billion valuation. And they also announced a $5 billion AI factory lease with US-based investment grade hyperscaler. And then you got Applied Digital Achieves ready for service for phase 1 at the Forge 1 building for CoreWeave. So they're already getting online with their data center setup. Now, they are partnered with some top tech companies. We're talking about CoreWeave, Supermicro Computer, NVIDIA, Dell, Intel, Hewlett-Packard. These are big partnerships that will most likely turn into more customer relationships and more revenue. So if they got 15 billion or so on their contract pipeline right now, and their market cap's only at 9 billion, we'd be led to believe that they're just getting started here. And in this big surge we've seen over the last few weeks, this revenue is going to increase. The revenue, while they made billions in their recent deals, the revenue didn't show up in their last income statement in this last quarter. And in fact, it was only $64 million they came in with, which is good. It's up 84% year over year, but the dollar amount still pretty small. And you'd expect them to be in a better position from revenue. But I think it's just catching up. Literally, they signed these contracts in the last few months. So in this next quarter, we're going to watch closely. And then when you look at the balance sheet, it's really impressive. Their balance sheet is up 155% to $2.4 billion. So $2.4 billion in assets. They got some runway. you could see this big market cap build for the company. And then recently they had quite the pullback from $40 a share, and they sold back down here to, again, about $29 and up to 32 today. So this company we've invested in for a little bit here. You can see we have a position on the right that's up about 120%. I'm not going to sell any long-term positions here. I would continue to hold this company, as I believe they're going to see a lot of momentum. They were looking really oversold this morning at market open. We talked about it in our live session. We're saying these are the buying opportunities. In fact, we added to some positions this morning in our live session. And then after that, they recovered. You see, they've recovered now. They're in the middle of this RSI. MACD not looking as oversold, but they looked very oversold this morning and then bounced back up very quickly, about 10%. So if they're going to hold, they're going to continue this uptrend. I've had some really good insights from you guys, some really good outlooks on the company. And I appreciate all of the data center plays from IREN to APLD, Wolf Stock. We're looking at TSSI recently. A lot of really great companies to watch closely. We're looking at this next target up into this 25% gain of up to $40 a share once again. That's what I would follow for APLD, kind of considering the overall technicals and where they're going right now. And then we could get let's get some AI analysis on APLD as well. See what, I actually would like to use OpenAI and see how OpenAI views the company here. Get some analysis going. And we added some new things to the machine. Not only do we have a new improved watch list that is getting super exciting. You can see the quantum stocks are down there. But we also color coded it. You see the red, if it's very red, it's like more intense. If it's more closer to zero, then it's not as red. You kind of see that. Same thing with the green, but I don't know that we're going to see too much green here today. Kind of hard to find some green. But that's how it looks. Maybe it's base deck. No, still some red there. The analysis, according to OpenAI, is indicating that, as we could see, the next day projections are expected to still continue for APLD after that big sell down to that they're saying that $200 or 200-day moving average. And that's kind of what we were just talking about a moment ago. We were kind of taking a bigger step back without all these drawings. You can see it pulled down to the 200-day moving average and it bounced here. And that's kind of what the AI is saying here as well. They were watching this 200-day moving average bounce. And then if we look at the next, 4 hours, maybe a little bit of a red, that's how it looks according to OpenAI. But over the next 6 months, let's see, OpenAI is actually bearish on the company. Surprisingly, OpenAI is coming in quite bearish. I don't know why. I think it's probably going to be, well, I know why. They're looking at the current revenue, probably. That's probably what's going on. And that while they have these big deals for billions of dollars, apparently, that hasn't hit their balance sheet and hasn't fully gone through. I mean, having, a deal with a company versus seeing the wire hit the bank account is very different. And you can see they talk about this deal over here in the news, but if you go to the company and you go to the actual press releases, do they talk about it as a deal? It looks like they have $5 billion lease here, $5 billion lease. And then it says, this isn't just the size of our pipeline, it's how fast we can deliver. So they're saying it's our pipeline, but it's also important that we're able to deliver on this, which indicates, yes, it's a really good deal, but is this going to be hitting their balance sheet, hitting their income statement right now? Well, they're not seeing that. So maybe that's some of the projections for OpenAI in the machine. We could get an idea of what Grock has to say as well. Looks like Grock is actually bullish. Grock is bullish on APLD, and it's anticipating it to continue up 20% over the next year, which is pretty bullish. And then if we look at some of the impacts here on the top transactors, I was just kind of going through. We did see, let's see, the insider buying and selling Nvidia has some shares in the company, which is interesting. Vanguard is holding some shares. Goldman Sachs and Citadel. But if you see Nvidia buying, that's got to tell you something there. Then you got insiders here. So CEO has been buying. Let's see the sells. Had some sells on October 30th from a director, and the CFO sold on the 27th of October. Overall consensus. Let's see. Overall consensus. There's been some sells recently. Actually, quite a few in the insider. And according to the Grock analysis, it's saying that insider activity shows 24 buys and 58 sells, which suggests more insider selling. On the institutional side, you've seen 57 buys versus 39 sells, which indicates more net buying activity, including Nvidia as one of the buyers, which I thought was interesting, and BlackRock. BlackRock actually sized down their position a little bit, but most companies seeming to be sizing up their position, if not doubling their positions in some cases. Citadel increasing by 55% in their position. So that looks pretty good. So if you look at the Grock side, it's looking very bullish. OpenAI is very bearish. According to the institutions and analysis here, it indicates institutions are bullish and insiders are holding to bearish. So that's kind of the outlook for the company. I think that overall we're seeing them bounce this 200-day moving average. I would expect them to keep momentum despite being up to $32. Maybe I'm biased because we're a holder of the company and I'm going to buy the dips, but that's just kind of the outlook for the data center market in general. I think we're seeing more investments in that market due to AI, and we're going to see the demand continue to grow. It's already growing for the company with their recent deals that are almost twice as big as their current market cap, which is indication that they would most likely grow here. And so that's my analysis for APLD. What's your analysis for APLD? Drop it in the comment section down below. And if I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Want to tune on into our daily live trading sessions where we trade and invest every morning. You can learn the technicals, the fundamentals of quantum computing stocks. You could learn space tech stocks, data center and AI companies, all of the best companies in the world, along with targets for them each week. And surround yourself with like-minded individuals, or send me a message anytime in Stockmates. Our daily live trading is happening tomorrow morning. You get a link in your email if you want to join. It's not here, it's something separate. Get a link that's sent to you each morning to tune on into our daily live trading sessions. So we'd love to see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If I earned your thumbs up again, smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.